These chairs suck.
My back hurts.
Hey guys, this is Joe.
I'm DJ.
And I'm Kelly.
We are here with the Ranger Retro Wrap-Up.
Retro
Express
Ranger
version.
Wrap-Up.
We're going to be talking about episode 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. High five. We are also going to be bringing you some Power Rangers news. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Kelly and I just came from a charity event, a Power Ranger charity event.
Yeah,
no
put
less.
on by El Camino College Club,
Yep.
right? That's
El Camino College
Power Rangers Club.
Club. You're right.
Yeah, I think that's...
that is right. It's
Good job, guys.
ECCC Power Rangers Club. DJ was stuck in traffic on the
D-
405.
DJ was definitely stuck in traffic for a big minute. So how was that though? I mean, it sounded awesome.
Deborah Estelle made an appearance.
Deborah Estelle Phillips was there.
So for those who don't know, that's Power Rangers Time Force Yellow.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She was there. Kelly got to hang out and talk to them. Kelly did a Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z.
Awesome.
Coming
Please tell me you got that on tape.
Somebody
Please
knows.
tell
It's
me.
Daniel did.
Well, there you go.
Also, I drank an instant coffee for the first time.
What was it? Coffee mixture, right?
Yeah, it was, and I about threw up.
Well, you do have food poisoning or something.
I do have food
Not
poisoning
from the
currently.
coffee mixture.
Not from the coffee mixture.
The
but
things they do for charity,
From
by the way.
previously.
Yeah.
Anyways, it sounds like it was for a great
It
cause.
was cool.
It does. What did you
They
bring
got-
anything?
I didn't.
I did. I brought the.
I knew about it last minute, and I was like, okay, JD, I'll meet you there. And he brought 2 things. So.
I brought the Hot Topic
on his coattails.
Power Ranger, like these Funko Pops, except it was
Pops.
posed.
That's
it was
awesome.
like a posed
Yeah, you brought
one.
the Red Ranger one.
Red Ranger.
Oh, that's
one.
awesome.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool cause. They were having a good time. It was cold. It was raining.
Yeah,
but
you
everyone
wore
was in
this
really good
little
spirits.
jacket
I did wear the
in the
sweater,
rain.
and she looks at me and she goes, "That's too thin. Like you, this is not appropriate for today."
She went straight into mama mode,
Yeah.
basically. So
but
get
it's
to,
cool.
Yep.
Man, it's nice.
No, literally, he's cool.
It's Rogue One. It's Rogue One, guys. By the time you watch this, I'm sure you've all seen it by now.
Awesome.
But for us, it's happening tonight.
Yes. DJ,
Yes, sir.
kick us off some Power Ranger news.
Absolutely. So you weren't here for the last time we went over this, but again,
Neither were you, though. Were you?
no, she wasn't here. So basically, it was,
Was
you
I
know,
there?
as far as the Lionsgate, I mean, we're getting a lot of Lionsgate promos, a lot of reveals with the new Zords, and we're getting most of it in the format of the toys, but, you know, we got the one-shot poster that does show the saber-tooth tiger in the front, and then the rest of the Zords in the back. You have seen the toys. You might have seen a few of the toys, but it's a little bit of a departure from the Zords we know and love from the 93.
Kelly goes, "Is that a rhino?" It
With,
does look like a rhino, though.
with 8 legs and 6 legs.
Is that a spider
There's a
rhino?
lot going on.
There is a lot going
In
on.
my defense, a lot going on.
I don't. They don't.
But let me get Kelly's thoughts real quick, because, you know,
Yes.
we're the fresh eyes here. You know what the original dinosaurs look like.
Yes.
And now you've seen the updated Lionsgate Zord. So how do we feel?
I do like that it does have an updated feel. It's
Sure.
more sleek. There's a lot more stuff going on.
There's a lot going on.
But I don't know. I think it varies a little too far from the nostalgic feel. I felt the Zords have a specific look that they've, in my opinion, have kept. But with this one, it looked more like alien spaceships shaped as animals.
Which
Does
makes
that
sense.
make sense?
No, it makes complete sense.
Okay.
And to be fair, I mean, I know we've talked about it a lot. That was a lot of the intent for the production team going forward. I will say this, for a fact, and this is from insiders, they wanted to stray away from the Transformers look as much as possible. I mean,
sense.
yes, Transformers influence is there. I mean, obviously the Transformers Bayformers versions isn't exactly like the G1s, but they didn't
I
want
don't even know what you just said right now. What are Bayformers?
like the Michael Bay Transformers.
Oh,
man.
Bay. Oh, got you. Okay. What are the Generation 1?
Generation 1.
Gotcha.
It's like, he's like, you nerd.
I was like, Bayformers. I was like, did I miss like a iteration of Transformers that were like, because remember there were the Dino.
The Dinobots and all
Then
that
we're gonna get
stuff.
ocean formers.
Yes.
What were the Bay? I was like, damn, what were the Bay like
It's like-
formers?
it's like,
That's hilarious.
DJ, what planet are you from?
And then the mountain formers.
Hey. So, what are your thoughts about the Zords? I mean, you got to see at least a couple of the Zords early on.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them early on. I want to see them on camera.
Yes.
Like that's
Like
the,
their movement.
Yeah, I want to see how they move. I want to see how fluid they are, because all the movie in '96 or '95 or whenever it was very like, dude, you know what it
that
looked
was
like?
so bad.
It looked like really crappy versions of a video game. Like it was.
With
It
the
was
movements
bad.
of the Zords.
But for the
They
time,
kind of look like they shuffle along like a
for the
Thomas
time, for the
Train.
time, it was
Well,
really
do you know
good.
which one he's talking about? Like from the movie version, not the actual show. Like the
Oh.
actual
Oh, yeah, the
movie
first-
Which one are you
version.
talking
The
about?
first movie version,
Yeah.
it was like the CG was terrible.
The only movie
But at the time, I thought
I've
it was
seen
amazing.
Was it something about the ooze?
Ivan
Ivan
Ooze,
Ooze,
yeah, that's
and
what
that
I was
was
Oh, that's the one.
That was
Okay,
one.
then I've seen
It was
that.
very like bulky and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, when we were kids, it was just like the most amazing thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when I was a kid, I
whatever.
loved those Zords. But as an adult, I want to see how the Zords move because our technology has come so far.
Sure.
So I really am curious to see like the T-Rex because it's just gonna be. I want to see it like chomp.
Yeah.
I want to see a lot of things.
I wanted to see the scale. That's what I really want to see, especially since we've had properties that have raised the bar. We do have Transformers, the series, the series of movies. We do have Pacific Rim, which is the big comparison, especially since it was suited mechs and mechas.
We've kind of seen a glimpse of the scale, though.
Yeah, sure.
A little bit.
But I want to see the translation now.
Yeah,
Like I want to see teenagers with attitudes and multicolored suits drive these vehicles and make me feel like, man, these kids are piloting Zords. And if the toy is accurate in any type of sense, it won't be one main cockpit. They'll be distributed throughout the actual Megazord itself. So in the arms, in the chest, in the legs, et cetera, et cetera. So
But do you think it'll be like an oval where you can see their full body?
Maybe.
That'd be
Maybe.
kind of weird for me.
Because the Zords right now have windows in the cockpits, which is kind of cool.
But you can see their full body in those windows, right?
Yeah.
So strange.
Well, at least in the poster pictures, we don't have.
maybe
any-
they move. Maybe you gotta move in those little cockpits, and that's how it
Oh,
controls.
kind of like
a leg or something.
what's that movie that came out
Pacific
2 years
Rim.
ago? Yeah, Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Or like you move. to
Yeah,
make
yeah, like
whatever
maybe,
happen.
maybe. Who knows?
All right. So let's kick it off to the next topic. Q Danger, which is the next Sentai series from Japan, which is the Power Ranger.
Damn, those suits look sick.
Thank you, Kelly. Have you been able to see these suits at all?
Which ones?
Okay, so Q Danger is the next Japanese series for Power Rangers.
Okay, I've not
Okay.
seen it. I have not seen
Oh
it.
my god.
So
this is
basically, it's
so good.
constellation based. It's a space themed Power Ranger show. For us, it'll be the second season that's space themed, but for Japan, this is their first official season that is
Okay.
space.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be funny if it's not a space theme here in the United States? It's like just a science theme.
We reverse it.
Yeah,
we
like,
totally
"Ah,
reverse it.
It's just video games.
Oh.
Like, that'd be hilarious.
How do the Japanese seasons compare to American?
very different.
Very
different
different?
feel. Matter of
Do you
fact,
have a preference?
it depends on the season. Most of the time, I will say this. And let me preface this by saying, obviously, kids shows for Japan, and you know this, especially with anime,
Yeah.
kids shows for Japan is very different from kids shows in the U.S.
Definitely.
So, and a lot of Japanese shows are very emotional based. So you're talking about just heightened, I'll revenge you, I'm about to kill you, you will never. Oh, there you go. So it is.
Dang.
I know that's kind of sick, right? And
And
already
there's already like nine
nine
Rangers.
Rangers. Yeah.
OMG, he's got a scale on his helmet.
Dude, you know what's dope though, Kelly? A female Green Ranger.
Yes.
Nice!
So this will be the second time we've had a female Green Ranger. The first time was Ninja, but technically that was a movie
Technically,
special.
this could be a third time
what
with
does she
Rita
have on
Repulsa.
her arm? What do they have on their
Technically.
arms?
I see what you did there. But no, the suits look amazing. Last season of Zyuohger was very block. Well, the most recent season of Zyuohger was very block and Minecrafty and very square. They said we're going to exact opposite. We're going to give him spheres and circles and make them all round
That
and
looks legit.
all that cool
So
stuff.
my favorite's silver. I think the silver one looks the best. I'm really about the silver. Silver and red look amazing.
I'm all about that black.
I knew
Black looks like a beast.
Well, the black
Yeah.
one
Black looks like a beast.
It reminds
Come
me.
on, man.
Reminds me very much of Magna Defender.
Yes, and you know how I feel about that Magna
Yeah,
Defender.
you love Magna Defender. Orange looks sick too, man. I can't.
They all look good. They all look
wait
really,
for
really
this
good.
season.
And not to mention the visors, the helmets,
So
man.
I was talking about this. I think it was with JD. So you have to assume that all of these are going to be like connected to the zodiac signs.
Well,
slash
constellations.
constellations.
Yeah, you can.
So there has to be at least 3 to 4 other Rangers coming.
Matter of fact, we were talking about this. Too.
Oh yeah. So there has to be at least 3 to 4 other Rangers. So you'd have to figure a purple. Mm-hmm. What other colors could we get?
Purple. Oh man, that hasn't been used
Can
before.
there be a teal one?
Is there a
Yeah,
white?
like aqua.
It could be an aqua. It could be a white.
White?
Oh yeah.
Or if Zyuohger is an indicator of anything, Zyuohger actually has a ranger that is technically black, silver, and was it bronze, something like that?
Oh yeah, bro.
It's Zyuo the world. He's like 3 colors of one. You know what I mean?
I would think the hashtag cast members should do this as a cosplay group.
Dude,
I'd be down.
I'd be
I'm
down
all
too.
about the season. That's all I know.
Which one should I
I'm
be?
all about the season.
Well, what do you want to be? Green or pink?
Cranky cupcakes, pink.
I kind of want to do. Well, I thought Jessica. You deemed Jessica as the pink
As
one.
the old in Dino. All right, so in Dino.
But I'd be down to do the green
in
one.
Dino Charge, we were all. Hopefully that artwork comes soon. Each of us have a designated ranger. I think Jessica did get designated as pink.
But I kind of want to see what the constellations or zodiacs they represent.
Yeah, because I want to see
'Cause
if,
that would
if
be-
Gemini's on there.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Gemini.
And I'm a Cancer.
Are you?
I am.
What are you? Sagittarius?
Oh, I'm super Scorpio.
Scorpio.
I always get that face like, yeah, that makes sense.
Too cold Scorpio.
Sure, why not?
That's a wrestling reference. But yeah, these suits look sick. I can't wait.
The suits look amazing. The theme looks amazing. The Zords look amazing.
And I'm excited that there are a lot of Rangers because I'm a big fan of big Ranger teams. Like
This might be one of the biggest too. I mean, here's the thing. We're starting with 9 Rangers. We're not building up to 9 Rangers. We're starting with 9 Rangers.
Wouldn't that be crazy if it condenses down like they like lose their power to get us down to 6?
That'd be different. That would be different.
It's so sad.
Maybe it can happen.
Well, I mean, they died. Just
One
condensed.
Ranger did die in the show. Spoiler alert. But we'll get there.
Anyways.
About 16 years. Retro Ranger wrap up. That's it for the news. Let's cut to a clip of Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Episode 2, High Five.
As the kids climb to the top, Trini confronts an old fear.
You never catch me climbing anything that high.
Meanwhile, Rita unleashes a new plot against the Power Rangers.
Here, let me help you get ahead.
Man, what is this place? Look out!
Will Trini overcome her fear of heights to save a friend?
Billy, you're too high!
Will the Power Rangers spoil Rita's plan? Find out next on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That was a clip from High Five, Episode 2
Yes.
of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So let's talk about what happened in the episode.
Absolutely. So the theme for this episode is Trini is afraid of heights, even though she is a superhero who could jump up to Zords and all that good stuff. She is afraid of heights.
This makes sense to me, though, because in Spider-Man Homecoming, he's going to be afraid of heights.
That has nothing to do with this joke.
That really had nothing.
Spoilers.
To do. Like, yeah, serious.
It's not a
Oh, I
spoiler.
have a spoiler to add in right now.
For those of us who have not seen the movie, it's a spoiler.
That's not a huge spoiler. That's not a spoiler at all.
I didn't say how big it was. So
I'm
moving
excited
on.
because I thought in the first episode we didn't get to see the Yellow Ranger very much,
Sure.
but I was happy to see more of Trini.
Well,
Like really get to know her a little bit better.
Sure, but this is our first focus episode, and it happens to be about the Yellow Ranger, which
Yeah.
is awesome. And I love the way they established the characters. Okay, so most of Mighty Morphin takes place in the youth center.
Yes.
That's where you get all,
Yes.
yeah, that's where the love is. That's where the heart is. So we have Jason climbing a rope.
You know,
and-
those ropes are pretty freaking hard to climb.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do them in high school.
And Trini just like,
I know.
well, not yet.
At the end. Yeah,
But they are
but
pretty.
still,
Jumping
happy.
ahead.
Those ropes are pretty difficult to climb, especially if you don't have gloves on.
Yeah.
Because you have to use like leg strength and arm strength.
Yeah.
It's all coordination. Like
Yeah.
we used to have to do it for wrestling, and I was
Yeah.
terrible. But
I
keep
was
in mind,
terrible
like I was
too.
like a real fat kid, so I was really, really bad at it. Like I'm okay now, but man, ropes were like.
Could you do it now?
Yes, I'm good now.
I have never tried it. I don't know if I
I
can.
can do it.
Well, to be fair, it's not for everyone either.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
it's
know.
not the easiest thing to do. Like let's just be fair.
I don't know if I have enough upper body strength for it. Personally.
But it's also a lot of like it's just he's right. It's coordination.
It is
and It's core
coordination.
strength, keeping straight. It's a lot.
Well, speaking of people who couldn't do it, we have Bulk who takes a crack at it. You know what I love about this though? When
Once
Bulk
again,
and
I feel
Skull
bad for him.
don't. Well, that's his.
I love the comedy. Like I love the physical comedy though. Like every episode, how like it's the Laurel and Hardy kind of like physical comedy. And like as a kid, I didn't appreciate that. Like I didn't even realize how much they're actually doing in terms of physicality.
But these are real like
timing.
bullies too. Like these are legitimate real bullies where they are
They didn't
confrontational.
do anything. They came up to the guys, what you doing, guys? Oh, I could do that too.
But you
and
have
then
to
they fall. They're like,
assume.
ha ha, you couldn't do it.
So
It's
Kelly,
like,
what you're
that's so
saying? Let me
sad.
get your assessment of Bulk and Skull. They're just trying to fit in with the rest
Yes.
of the team. The rest of the-
That's
it's
them.
kind of true.
So tragic characters.
They
Kinda
just
true.
want to be part of the group, and the group keeps laughing at them.
Those
of course, they're gonna be
freaking
like,
elitist Power Rangers.
So anyways, Bulk does take a crack at it. He fails and pulls the whole thing down.
and then the ceiling falls on his
Which is
head, and
awesome.
everyone laughs at him. And then Pink Ranger's like, "Oh, serves you right."
You do feel bad for these guys.
And they get like the clown music. They come up like,
Dun,
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 like
dun.
little trumpets. Oh, these guys again.
I would say this. There was a really cool moment with like Skull and Jason. I don't know if you caught this. Like they had like a whole
Yes.
confrontational moment. And to me, this is why this dude was the coolest leader to me. Like he was just so composed. Where Skull goes up to him, challenging like, "What? Are you saying that Bulk couldn't climb that?" And Jason's just like, stoic. He's like, "Oh, well, I guess that's exactly what you're saying." And that was that cool factor that this leader had. That come on.
I feel bad for them.
Nah, I don't feel bad.
That's so funny. I mean, from your perspective, I probably never looked at it from this perspective. However, with that being said, you opened my eyes. They're not so much bullies as they just want to fit in.
Yeah,
They're
they just
outcasts.
want to be part of the group.
I will say this.
I mean, all of us would want to be part of the Power Rangers group. We know that.
Sure.
And we come in and it's like they have their closed little group and you come up and you're like, hey guys, like what's up? Sorry, this group's full. Please leave.
It is kind of like that.
Right?
I will say this, since we're doing the retro stuff now. No. This is all I'm gonna say. Since we're doing the retro stuff, I have seen or revisited a couple of episodes where I'm like, they are not nice. And I'm not like,
Well, maybe they are teenagers with attitudes. Maybe I was spot on.
they missed. They should have ranged it up. These are the real kids you want with potential, with attitude. But I don't know. Like, there's at least even like the next episode. We're not there yet, but
It's true.
they're pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
I like Bulk and Skull. They're so charming to me.
Yeah.
They're like good characters.
And then I think it becomes my favorite Billy moment.
Oh.
That comes up next.
Oh.
When he comes in and he's like, hey guys, I made us communicators. Oops, accidentally at the transporter. Didn't mean to do that. And then
Billy
it's
is awesome.
Billy is
like
awesome.
this is
How much of a genius do you have to be to try and make a communicator and accidentally make a transporter?
Yes, Billy is great, and this shows my appreciation. And you know what? Credit to the writers actually, because to use the lingo and make it work and use these words that Billy has to use for a kid show is pretty impressive. Because
Sure.
you have to figure if somebody has a thesaurus that's writing, it's like, oh, what's the word for this? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, like that's the great part. Like, I think it's hilarious. But the character of Billy and a young David Yost is such a good actor at the time for being so young. He pulls it off almost seamlessly.
Seamless.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
you, if you obviously didn't know David Yost, you would not be able to distinguish Billy and David or at least watching Billy, because he becomes.
He's a natural as Billy. Like, you believe him as a high-tech genius
Yeah.
who can tap into the Morphin grid, who can accidentally create a teleporter
Yeah.
on your wrist.
Because
Yeah.
even watching it back as an adult, I still got
And he's in high school.
Right,
And he's-
but
What the
and he's in high
hell?
school.
But I still got the vibe of like, oh man, whoever was cast as David Yost, obviously, when he was cast, like, he must be really smart. But I don't know, maybe he's an idiot.
Sure.
But like, he's a very good actor, and,
Oh, no.
and it shines.
Yes, yeah.
It shines early on, and this is only the second episode.
Yeah.
And he complements the group really, really well. I mean, each character, I should say, is very strong. And the way he complements, like Trini is essentially his translator more often than not.
Yeah.
Like, Billy
She's
says
so-
something.
She's so nice.
Yeah, she is. I mean, rest in peace to Tui. But so, anyways, they accidentally get teleported to the command center. This is probably my favorite moment where Alpha's kind of like, "Yo, what's up, homeboys? What's up, homegirls?
Well, first of all,
what
they
brings you to our hood?"
They get transported in a dog pile.
Yeah, they
Like,
did. They're like
it's
all on
so-
top of each other.
It's so like cheesy, but I love it. I love that. Like, it's very much like you can just tell. It's like, okay, come on, kids, get in this. And I go, what do we got to do? We got to dogpile each other, sure.
and action.
It's so you can tell that like.
And Kimberly's like, guys, get off.
Yeah, it seemed like if I was one of those actors at the time, they were having fun. Like
Yeah,
you can
for
tell
sure,
that they were
for
having
sure.
fun.
Sure.
But he's right. Like when the Alpha does his little lingo,
His little yo-yo-yos.
hilarious.
And basically, Zord was like, "Hey, good job, Billy. You created a transporter. We just need to tweak it a little bit, but kudos.
Yeah.
You're kind of smart."
Was that your Zordon impression? by
That
the
is
way?
my. Hey, you're not one to talk. You cannot say nothing to me in terms of impressions, because Zordon does talk like this.
What is
I
that
don't know
light
what that's
going on?
doing.
What is happening
We're
right
having
now?
a malfunction in
That
the
is
studio.
called a
It
fire.
says Dakota alert.
Is somebody having a heart attack?
What is
I
that?
feel like somebody's having a heart
Someone
attack.
breaking in.
Maybe somebody's at the door.
Do you guys have a?
Oh no, guys! The Power Rangers are coming.
That should be like we're Power Rangers. That would be our moment.
It's Rita Repulsa. Run!
Is that life alert? Or is like somebody?
It says something alert.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, does that tell us someone's at the door?
Ernie's here.
Does that really tell us that someone's at the door? Dang, guys.
When somebody knocks,
When somebody there's a doorbell thing. I
There's a
didn't know
doorbell.
That. Yeah.
somebody
Wow.
turn
How do you
it
turn it
off.
off though?
Do you
turn that thing
How
off?
do you? How do you undoorbell it?
Oh, I don't know. Just leave it. It's so weird. Oh, that's it. Stop.
once
That
it's
was super distracting.
That was really distracting.
Wait, did it turn off by itself?
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me. What?
Oh, are we still rolling? Our bad, guys.
Sorry. A little freak out at the studio. We didn't know what was happening
Oh
with
no,
Ernie
a
here.
fire!
We thought I could have been. I was like, it was just a.
Well, I thought it was a
I
break-in.
mean, how many things?
Or it could've
Yeah,
been that
right?
too.
I thought it was like a back break-in. That's what I thought
Yeah.
it was.
I was getting a little freaked out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
So DJ did
Sorry.
a great Zordon impression.
It's the voice. What can I say, man?
It is. But we are at the command center, and this is a throwback to the first Lost episode, or the first episode that Kelly was on in Power Rangers, of DJ's frightful, most scary villain of all time. You said it was his Bones character. It was the one that frightened you as a kid.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said that as a kid that. Because I said that for mine it was the Nasty Knight.
I might have. Yeah, you're probably
said
right.
this Bones one.
You're probably right.
It was a kid. This one was frightened you a little bit.
But you know what's cool about like the first season though? Like you really get. To me, I thought the monsters all had weight because it was all from Finster's lab. You know what I mean? Like you got to see him like make the things. He had like a whole selection as far as like, let's use this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So get the little.
Like, this is perfect. It's hideous.
Exactly. It's like the monster reanimated. Okay, now you go and do your thing.
You know, fun fact about Finster to me, I don't think, to me, he didn't fit in because he was always such a like cute villain that he was never like really a bad guy.
Which one is that guy?
He's the one, the old one. He's
The
white
one
and
that's
blue.
like making the guy.
Because
The
he just
monster
kind of
man.
does. He
Who
feels like a
is-
slave.
Who is like the monkey guy that's blue?
Babu.
That is Babu.
I do not like his English voice over person.
Why?
I don't think it fits his character.
Interesting.
I mean, so the smaller one, it works.
Squat?
Squat, perfect name. I felt like the voice that they gave to him fit, but the taller guy, I saw more of like an Alfred to Batman kind of vibe rather than another dopey-ish voice.
So you wanted more of that like
Well,
English.
doesn't he have like a little
monocle?
like
He does have a monocle.
I mean, a guy with a monocle doesn't have a dopey voice, in my opinion.
Well, in the movie, the pig had a monocle and he had a dopey
Oh,
voice
really?
too.
Oh, geez, bringing it back. But I think they were going for the whole bumbling thing, and you know,
that makes sense.
like, oh, Empress Rita, and all that.
I guess if they were like smarter, they wouldn't
you.
have as much trouble defeating the Power Rangers.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, they were there. I love though this villain is menacing though, and it does have.
My favorite part.
It is
was
threatening.
When they were talking about the villain, and they're like, and he can disappear, and he's like riding a carousel, and then is not riding a carousel.
That was great. It's like, what planet has this carousel where
He's
this
like
guy's
riding
riding
it. I'm like, why is this monster riding the carousel?
You know what? Another great part too was the little spaceship, the little space shuttle tool.
Oh, the time warp shuttle.
He's sitting
And
down,
everyone's like, "Get out
and
of the
everyone's
way."
afraid of it. I feel like cars would have
Step
just
on
ran
it,
it
yeah.
over. Like it
Yeah.
would have just been like, oh, well, I just hit somebody's road control car.
Yeah.
The guy
It
in
was
like the
hilarious.
manhole is like, whoa.
Yeah, I did. Now, were you able to tell clearly that was Japanese footage?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I knew. Going like rewatching this series, I knew that those scenes were taken from the Japanese version.
Sure.
So I'm not sure if I didn't know if I would have noticed it as much.
Yeah.
Because they don't really zoom in.
But you can kind of tell the quality difference. I mean.
Yeah, you can tell that it's like different from what like we see of
It
teenagers.
looks so dated. Like that Japanese footage looks like
Yeah.
it's from like 1970.
It's
Well,
very grainy.
Isn't
Yeah.
it taken earlier than
Only
even
a
the
couple years,
93?
though.
Not much.
Oh, okay.
Not much. I mean, we're talking about like
1 year, only a year,
Wow, impressed.
and it looks like it's in time.
from
like,
the 70s, like
yeah.
you said. So, anyways, one thing I really do like is the fact that they establish putty fights. Like they really establish like, hey, Zordon said we have to handle it before we morph. And then as seasons go on, we really lost all of that. They just
Was
morphed
there
all the
like
time.
really a reason for that though?
Violence, TV, censors, and parents.
Is there really?
Yeah, but
here's
did they
the
give
deal.
it to us in the show? I
Like,
don't remember
the-
them saying.
Oh, as far as the transitioning from having less unmorphed fights?
Yeah.
No, they just straight up just.
But logistically, figuring if I was in the storyline, if this guy with a floating head says, "Hey, risk your personal body without using your powers first," I'd be like, "Dude, no. Like, I'm not gonna. No, that's
Joe,
ridiculous."
fired. Skull, you're in.
I would have literally been like, "Yeah, you gave me this for a reason. If I break an arm, are you gonna pay for the medical bills? I think not. You floating head."
I'm pretty sure
Joe,
Alpha
fired.
could like
Bolt,
repair it.
you're in.
Now it would have been Billy that fixes anything if anybody
I know,
was gonna
right?
fix anything.
He's in high school and creates a teleportation device to space.
Yeah. But
So they fight the. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, they fight the putties.
fight the
which-
putties.
It was great.
That was
Now,
that was
one
hilarious.
question I did have about this is when they do the human chain. Is
Oh
this
my
something?
goodness.
Because Jason calls for it.
Oh, you fast forward.
Is
way
it
back
something that they just
Yeah, right.
practiced? They were just
You
like,
kind of skipped the part where Billy runs away.
Yeah, you
and
kind of
they made
skip.
him
You
more
skip
of a
like the
wuss.
whole episode theme, which is high and
And
far.
We're
Trini
just
had
talking
to
about the
like
fight.
conquer her fear of heights to go save him.
we're just talking about the fight. It's in the same sequence.
So, anyways, but I do
I was
love
bummed.
I do love the fight tactic, which is like, okay, guys, let's spread out, and then Billy just takes
He's
off.
like, "Bye, guys," and then
Billy
runs
straight
away.
up jets
I
up a
was
hill.
like, "Man, Billy, you're letting me down.
Kinda.
You're my favorite, and you just ran away."
You're gonna get this like the whole first
I
season.
know.
I feel like they do a pretty good job as far as evolving his physical
Yes.
skill.
I feel that Billy doesn't actually start taking like fights until we get to like season 2.
Until season 2.
Yeah, he doesn't actually start, but it's cool. You do see the evolution.
But
And
in
he
this
drops
episode,
the large words, like he starts.
Oh, he does.
he drops.
Morphitudinal.
He drops.
What does that
he
even
starts
mean?
talking normal.
But he drops everything. He drops the overalls. He drops
The
the
glasses.
glasses.
Okay.
He drops the non-gelled hair. He starts styling it a little bit more. He drops and he puts on a tank top.
I mean, you can see his muscles.
And now
Like, he's
there's
pretty-
like
What does morphitudinal mean, guys?
I don't even think that's a word.
He said
clearly, it's the attitude of morphing. Oh, I'm morphing.
No, because
I don't know.
Trini like brings him something, and he's like, "That's morphitudinal, Trini,"
So
and I'm
great.
like,
That's so great.
"But
So great.
I mean, I get morphonomical,
More
Or
phenomenal.
nominal.
whatever,
Oh God, where are those guys?
but morphitudinal.
Maybe you're pronouncing that one wrong too. We don't
No,
know.
let's
no,
pull it up.
that one I think she's
Let's
right.
pull it up.
Morpho what?
Morphitudinal.
Morphitudinal. But getting back to what was it, the human link, the human chain.
Yeah, that
The
was.
human chain. Oh my gosh.
You know what I did love while Billy and Trini were up in the
like how-
mountains and stuff. Like they were just group hugging
Yeah,
the whole
I was
time.
like, they all hold hands and like close them.
We gotta
and I'm
help
like,
them. Like there's nothing happening. They actually
They're
did.
like,
you know
help
what?
us.
Let's give it like the whole tragic villain thing, like with Bulk and Skull. I felt like the putties just wanted a hug.
Yeah.
I feel like the putties just wanted.
I don't
a
know,
hug.
but when they're like running around those zoot suits, I'd be running away from them too. I'd be like, don't come near me.
But the human chain. I mean, who practices like? Hey, I have an idea.
They
like
were
Jason's
born
like,
with it.
guys, I got an idea. I'm gonna hold one of you guys up. The other one.
You lay back. I'm gonna hold you. You hang on to his legs, and I'm gonna helicopter the hell out of these guys.
Who came up with that idea to just be like, guys, I got a brilliant idea. I'm gonna lift one of you guys up, all right? No, trust me, I really got you. Lay back, and the other one, and we'll just spin around. And I'm like, and I can imagine, like, Jason, are you sure about this?
Trust me, I'm the leader.
Trust me.
Why
I know
don't we
what I'm
just
doing.
punch them? No, that won't work.
Oh,
man,
that
I
was so
love
good.
this.
And
That's
it works, but it works.
It
It
does
does work.
work.
Because
Love
I will say
90s
this though,
cheese.
as a
So
kid,
90s.
like that was one of the coolest things. It was
looked
so
cool.
innovative. It was so
looked
innovative.
cool. I would
Yeah.
be like, man, I can't do that. I don't have that kind of body strength.
You know what was cool though is that you can tell that was really Austin St. John doing that. Though.
Yeah.
And the physicality on and not
That guy's
taking away.
buff.
The physicality that it actually
Yeah.
takes to do all that
I'm so glad you mentioned
was
that.
super impressive.
No, I'm so glad you mentioned that because as much as we're clowning the attack, it's actually not easy to do.
No.
I mean, especially helicoptering while keeping in balance. Like, I'll tell you what, I'm not a big.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a big roller coaster guy, and I probably get dizzy like after like 3 spins. And he's holding people
Yeah.
and helicoptering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's pretty dope.
And
That's pretty
the
dope.
kid's 17 years old. Like he was
the youngest kid.
He was a strong dude. Like that takes a lot of coordination, a lot of balance. And then the other two have to be like, oh man, it's super
The
impressive.
Zach
It's all-
guy,
it's all core.
He had to like
It's all
hold out
core.
his chest and lift up Kimberly with all of his like.
Which
strength.
is a shame that these guys were, because that was essentially them performing their own stunts, and they were getting paid like such peanuts to do all this stuff, which is crazy to me. But on the flip side, it shows off how physical they are. And the cool thing about Power Rangers is that you can see a lot of these actors doing their own stunts, which you can't say about for a lot of other shows. No shade against other shows, but you just can't.
But that's actually what helped the suspense of disbelief. Like when they morphed, there was no question since they're so physically able. Like, oh, those are them in the suits minus Trini because she bulked up a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely thought that in this episode you could definitely tell the Yellow Ranger was a dude in the suit.
Yeah.
For what reason? For what reason?
A lot of crotch shots started
The
appearing.
bulge.
The bulge.
Yeah, it's like
the power.
The bulge.
The
The Yellow Ranger bulge.
yeah. So that was unfortunate.
power
but
bulge.
Poor Trini.
So moving on, so the Rangers fight the monster of the day, which is Bones, and
They have
Time
two
Warp.
monsters though, but we'll
They
get
did.
there.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. So they fight the Bones monster in the Time Warp. So you know,
The space shuttle.
which is from the baby tiny Macro Machines shuttle of life.
That was pretty funny.
So that was great. And then they have a second monster. I didn't even remember that.
I
Second
didn't
monster.
either,
Yeah.
actually.
I actually had to wiki like, did that monster even have a name? And come to find out, it didn't.
Yeah, that's crazy because that must.
The monster that
It
grabs
came
him.
out. Yeah, it came out really
But
quickly
you know
because
what?
I missed the spot where Bones
Okay.
was defeated.
Let's talk about
and then
that,
the new
though.
monster came in. I was
Exactly.
like, who is this
Like
guy?
you
Bones
blinked.
fight was so cool though that
Yeah.
I love the fact, and this is one thing I love about Mighty Morphin especially, is that when they defeated Bones, they didn't use a Zord.
Correct.
It was straight up like they just beat him, which
Yeah.
I thought I love that stuff.
Less formula.
Yeah.
Less formula. So they defeat the Bones monster, and out of nowhere, this big old dude Nameless, just this nameless monster who's just
That's
happens
a dope
to...
name for a monster, Nameless.
Actually, shout out to Kingdom Hearts. We got Heartless, Nameless,
forever being
Nobodies.
called it Nameless, although he was defeated. So
He was pretty...
One thing I
never
liked
see it again.
about this Nameless monster, though, was the camera trick of having this hand.
oh, that was
and
cool.
holding the Red Ranger.
I noticed that.
And even the sword, like,
The
coming
hand
down.
comes out and he's like, no.
That was so cool.
That's a great point, though. I feel like with Mighty Morphin, as seasons go on, you really lose the sense of small civilians to giant mechs and kaiju stuff scale. You know what I mean? Like, you really lose, like, that whole... Because, with Mighty Morphin, like, every other episode, like, somebody's trying to take a step on them or, like, a swipe at them. Like, you felt like, oh, these are big things happening. Versus now it is a formula. It is, hey, make my monster grow. Hey, call the Zords. Hey, monsters extinct or whatever.
Yeah, and I thought it was brilliant because what they did here is for a large portion of the giant-sized monster, it was the physical smaller Power Rangers fighting him.
Yep.
And Jason was in the grasp of the hand.
Which is boss.
Which was super cool because
Which is boss.
the camera tricks that were used though for that was pretty amazing. I thought they all looked really solid, with the
That's
exception.
probably why they took the Japanese footage, because they're like, this is impressive. We're just gonna
With
use
the
this.
exception of like
And
one
cheaper.
scene,
Yeah.
you can see like
Me
it's
too.
totally like the suit actor holding the toy, which was even so. I love that stuff because
But it was all practical.
It was all practical.
It was
I
all
love practical stuff.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it's
so
really
with
cool.
you on that one. I'm so with you.
But the monster, like DJ said, these monsters had weight. They were menacing.
Yes.
And this is a Zord fight where actually, for some reason, I'm not, now people that have watched our show in the past know I'm not a big fan of Zord fights, but in Mighty Morphin, it's a little different. I feel like the Zord fights are more endearing and they make more sense because they're trying to fight in this episode especially, so they fight the putties in their human forms.
Yep.
Then they morph up, destroy the Bones monster.
In a different dimension.
In a different dimension. After that, the monster grows. They try to still fight him, well, even though they're kind of forced to, but in their smaller forms.
Yep.
Then they have to call the Zord. So all of it makes sense to me. It's a progression.
There was an arc. Yeah.
I thought that's really cool. And it's something that's kind of lost in these newer seasons, but for what they lose in that stuff, they make up for in some of it in story. So.
But I feel like that's true for like a lot of properties. Like, I mean, a lot of the heart that you mentioned, a lot of the attachment that we have, a lot of things, especially like with animation and cartoons, it's like clean, it's rubbery, it's more polished, but there's something to say as far as like gritty, like again, like hand-drawn things and practical effects and less CGI, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like that's a lot what we're losing.
So far, we have one episode dedicated to a solo ranger, which is Trini. And this is also a standalone episode. You don't necessarily have to watch what becomes before or after to understand it.
Sure.
And I think
Yes.
that was the brilliance of Power
I
Rangers.
like this one a lot more than the
Pilot?
Sure.
because it had more of a story in it rather than they had to introduce everything.
Which makes sense. So, I mean, they fight the monster, the nameless monster, and what I love about it is, like, we get individual Zord fights as opposed to just like, hey, Megazord,
Dude,
finish.
I love individual Zord
That's my
fights.
stuff. That's my stuff. That's my jam. That's my jam.
See, I was a big, and I don't know if anybody out there is like me on this. I hate when all the Rangers can call all the Zords, even though that one Ranger's not there. I like it better where it's like, okay, we can't form the Megazord because Kimberly's captured or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it better like that.
So you don't like the whole trump card where basically one ranger could basically like pilot five Zords.
I
at
like
once.
seeing the Rangers.
Kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like seeing the
Agreed.
Rangers challenged because I feel like, and it's great because in Mighty Morphin especially, you get to see a lot of these Rangers push to their limits, especially when we get deeper into like the further seasons and even this season. When we get later on in the season, which we'll see the Rangers push to their limits, and I think it's brilliant. Now, the trope of Power Rangers is everything's going to be all right in the end, but there is episodes in this season specifically, that is going to leave us like, oh man, now I have to watch the next episode because it doesn't end like on a happy note.
Once we get into our soap opera arcs,
I can't
like
wait.
the soap opera arcs, we have like your part ones and your part twos and your sagas and. No, there's a lot of over dramatized like, oh guys, what are we gonna do? And then you get the trail off like dun 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 dun. Oh no, we don't know what they're gonna do.
So,
Power Rangers,
let me
Mom,
ask you
Dad,
guys.
buy me toys.
Any final thoughts on this episode, and what do you rank it?
Kelly?
I would like to say that I really like the line that Jason says, "Oh, we have such great camouflage, guys." And they're like standing next to the rock. They're like hiding.
Hey, that's teenager tactic 101.
My
right
favorite
there.
line of
pretty
this
great.
episode.
My favorite line is, "Let's form the human chain."
My favorite line has to be. Wait, was it this one, the 90s? Yeah.
Oh, that's so 90s.
That's so 90s from Kimberly, right at the end, it's like, oh my, so are you saying we could teleport now? So 90s. So good.
So funny.
So good.
I enjoyed this episode.
So Joe, what do you rate this episode, man?
Solid episode. Solid 3.5.
3.5, Kelly.
I'm doing it at 4.
I'm gonna say 4 because honestly, Tui Trang is beautiful, man. Like just the portrayal of Trini. Like I miss her.
Oh, you know what we forgot is how fast she climbs up that rope.
Oh, yeah.
you
we
know.
mentioned that at the beginning.
She got over her fear.
She did.
real-
All because some guy jumped out in a skull mask and she was like, oh my goodness. And then she like freaking climbs that rope.
Which
in
was
like
a callback
second.
to the monster they fought, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's
And it's called High Five, which is a great play on words because all 5 of the Rangers were up on that.
I get it. But as much as we were talking about the rope being difficult for all 3 of us, so all we need is our producer JD to scare us with a skull mask, and we're
and
good.
then I'll be up there in a
We're good.
second.
We're golden.
She was up there fast.
Guys, I think it's time for us to do a little bit of a take on the Morphin list. Our favorite moment from the episode.
Our retro moments.
Our retro Ranger moment. I had the number 1 pick for the first episode, so I'll go first.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah, do it.
My favorite
Retro moment.
My favorite retro moment from this episode was the introduction of the communicators.
So good.
Anybody that knows me knows that I've always wanted a communicator, and this year I finally got one, which I'm not wearing actually, which is terrible. But I finally got one this year.
That was the weakest
and
high five ever. Jesus.
I'm a huge fan. Like I wore it all the time, but it's not stainless steel, by the way.
No, it's not. It's plastic.
It's plastic, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, I'm
But
just
it
happy
would
I
have been
have
more expensive if it was stainless steel.
I don't care.
This was kind of expensive.
Oh.
It was
my
pretty
bad.
expensive. It
My
wasn't
bad.
cheap.
It wasn't true.
But it's the one prop from Power Rangers I've always wanted, and I've always been fascinated by the communicators, mainly because of the look. Now, if you look at the communicators, the face of them, granted, it looks like a watch, but it's not because it doesn't tell time. I wore it to work one day for when I was doing
Someone's like,
Comic-Con.
"What time is it?"
No, when I was at Comic-Con doing Comic-Con Live when you guys were shooting, they were like, what kind of bracelet is that? And I was like, oh. And then somebody like hit it, like I bumped it, like, oh, it's the Power Ranger thing because it makes the noise.
We don't need to be friends with those people.
But it was so cool because they were like, dude, it actually looks pretty cool. I love the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it has the color bars for each ranger.
bands,
The
yeah.
bands. And the little triangle, the yellow triangle thing, that actually gets
button.
removed. That button gets removed on later seasons though, which is quite interesting.
And I love the lights.
Good work,
The-
Billy. Good work.
Even the dual lights, as far as like the whole what do you call it? Like not rotating, but
I know what you're saying.
thank you. What?
Not
Not alternating, but you know what I'm
I
saying.
don't know what you're
Anyways, the
talking
blinky
about. I'm
lights. Well, basically the lights when they kind of.
Okay.
Fine.
We'll bring it for next week.
Sure.
But my favorite, that's definitely my favorite prop from the show. That's definitely my favorite. You can get those Power Ranger Legacy communicators, which are awesome. They're a little pricey, but well worth it because they come with all 5 of the colors.
I was about to say, what's really cool about it is they
Interchangeable
don't necessarily milk it because you can get all 5 colors in one, and then you get the separate one specifically for Tommy, which is green and white, which is dope. So you
Yeah.
could actually do whichever Ranger you want to be that day. So that's awesome.
Yes,
That makes
and
it-
by that week of Comic-Con, I actually wore all 5 of the colors.
Did you
But
really?
one day, yeah.
I didn't even notice.
All 5 of the colors I wore at least one day.
Pink and yellow?
Yep, I did pink and yellow. I did pink because my shirt was purple when we went out to that club that one night. So I did pink. I did yellow because one of the Star Wars shirts I was wearing was yellow. Oh no, I interviewed Tracy Lynn Cruz, and I did yellow that day.
Makes sense.
Have you worn your pink one yet?
I have not worn my pink one yet. But
Honestly,
I
I
will.
think pink and blue look the best to me. Like, if I had more pink clothing, I'd probably wear it more often. It actually looks pretty cool.
I'm not above it. I just haven't. So let's get into Kelly's retro moments for the episode.
My favorite moment of this episode was the human chain when
The
they do
human
that
chain.
badass helicopter move.
And Jason in the prequel to Power Rangers, I hope it's in the comic book. Guys, I got this cool idea. Trust me. Zach, what you're gonna do?
He loves the build up to it.
I love it. It's so funny.
It was legit.
It's
DJ,
pretty. It's
favorite
pretty.
moment?
Favorite moment. Oh, you got to give it up to Hood Alpha 5, man. When they
Yeah.
the yo.
I hope Bill Hader's Alpha 5 does.
You want some homeboys and homegirl. He's straight up saying, "Hey, what brings you to our hood?" And then the Alpha Boys. Come on, dude. I forgot all about that.
I did
dude.
too. That was a great.
That made me go. That kind of made me Scooby Doo.
And then Zach was like
too much TV. And you can tell that was most of his personality too. Like, I'm sure as an actor, as Walter Jones, he was kind of like, I can't believe I'm around this.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
I can't
actually.
believe I'm around this.
Because
right
I feel like the cast for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers specifically were cast perfectly.
Yeah.
Like this
Yes.
first cast, and nothing against our original
now.
Trini.
No, just hype it up, man. Hype it
Our
up.
original Trini was great in her own right, but that was obviously a different show, a little bit.
You talking about
Aubrey Dubois was great.
Audrey
Audrey
Dubois.
Dubois.
Yeah.
She was great in her own right. But this cast that we have now is the perfect Power Ranger cast.
Red is red, yellow is yellow, et cetera, et cetera. They complement very well. Their characters are very clear, and they work very well in tangent on screen.
And something else that's subtle that I noticed in this episode too is you get more character development from everybody. I mean, less so Zach and Kimberly, but more so Billy, Jason, and Trini.
Yes.
And with Billy, you actually see his genius come to life. Yeah. You see his, the inner workings of his head. You see him create. With Jason, you see that he is a driven guy.
Also confident, though. That confrontation with
driven.
Skull.
And that's exactly. Yeah. Like he's a confident,
Skull.
driven guy. I know you like Skull. And then with Trini, obviously we now know that she's afraid of heights, but she'll do anything for her friends.
But she got over that real quick because of her friends.
Yeah.
And she even pep talks herself. I love that.
Yeah,
I love the fact that she's like,
oh,
okay,
I'm so scared I can't do this, but I have to.
But I have to. He needs me. We're gonna do it. Bring it on. Like such great character.
Yeah, she's so good.
And
She gets up there and she's like standing to protect him.
So badass.
Like, I'm ready.
Can we talk about some of those shots? I know we're kind of over the episode, but the shots were pretty high up.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of heights. So
I'm
I
too.
know
Yeah,
that
you
I'd
got to
be
see
like,
the group hug.
yeah, I would be like,
with the putties.
I know. Group hug.
For the group hug.
Huddle.
I'm like, Kelly, you're too high. I don't know how you're going to get down, so I'm not going up there.
Do a flip.
Then I want to be like, DJ, human chain.
I'm like, Joe, copy that. Wait. Who's getting on whose shoulders? Yeah, that's the reason why we would never wear it, because, wait, are you getting on my shoulders? Or are you
That'd
getting,
be
because
so funny.
I'm not. You are not sitting back. I'm like, with that on my neck, okay? I'm just saying.
Yeah, but anyways, I think this episode was great.
Yeah,
3.5, solid 3.5, solid 4 from these two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
that does it for us.
I think that does it, yeah.
Yeah.
Next week's the episode is Teamwork.
Teamwork. So we're going to keep the retro madness going. Cranky Cupcakes. Where do we find you, Cranky Cupcakes?
You can find me on all social media as Cranky Cupcakes.
With a Z.
With a Z at the end.
I changed my Instagram name just because you gave me
What?
crap for it. No, that's actually not the reason. Actually, I just wanted to change
Actually,
it.
I just saw your, you liked something. I was like, oh, DJ's back to
Yeah.
DJ Rivers. Actually,
No.
for a second, I thought, oh my gosh, you have a fake account. Like, there's a fake.
Somebody took your pictures
Yeah, I
and
was like,
like,
holy crap, somebody's mimicking you.
someone Match.com you and just took your pictures and Tindered you. No.
For a second, I thought that, but then I was like, oh, it's your real
No,
profile.
actually, that wasn't even the reason. It's just that I wanted to be more consistent. Like, I even changed my Facebook page to have it. So it's DJ.2.Rivers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Simple. Joe?
You can find me on all social media too. That hashtag Joe on Facebook. It's just Joe Deckelmeyer. You can find us all on that hashtag show's Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube channel,
We're family.
Twitch. Kelly really does our Twitch.
Yes.
Which is going to
That
be.
hashtag show. We are gonna start doing some more hashtag group streams, guys.
There is a
Stay tuned.
Power Ranger like battle game.
There, we got it. We talked about that, and then
Is
we
it out
talked
there?
about maybe getting Power Rangers like Yoshi or someone
wait,
to
you're
come and
talking about
game
the
with
PS4 one?
us.
Yoshi did say he wanted to play Overwatch against you guys.
Perfect. I'm
Are
down.
you talking about the PS4 one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all about that.
Is
It's
that
not
out?
No, it's not out.
It's
now.
not out. Yeah, that's what I
But
thought.
I saw
But
a
wouldn't
lot
it be
of
cool to
footage.
get like,
I
because
think
you
it'd
can
be
have up to 4 people playing,
Oh, dude, I'm all about it.
and we
Like,
get
I'm excited.
It's
Power
like Power
Rangers
Rangers
to
Smash
come and
Brothers.
play with us. I think that'd be rad.
Well, it's basically like
It's not against each other. You're as a team.
Well, it's like Power
It's like the Simpsons game.
It's like Power Rangers Final Fight. Like,
Okay.
it's side scrolling.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Like even
man.
more. What's really cool about it is they even have the original voices. I mean, there's not
I
like
saw
a
that.
lot of voice acting. There's like text, but in the game, the sound bits are the
Is it
actors.
only Mighty Morphin?
Yes.
Nice. I'm still about it.
Yeah, dude. Like we need to co-op.
Yeah, that'd be so much
Me,
fun.
you, Kelly, JD, our
Down.
producer,
I'm down.
Steve, Hyperdrive Picks, Krishna,
Steve Cardenas,
Steve Cardenas, Cameron Jibo,
Yoshi Sidarso,
Sorry, guys.
Christopher
I have
Cameron Lee.
nothing to
Cameron Lee.
contribute.
Ciara Hanna. We're calling all of you out.
Christina Masterson,
All of you.
all the eras.
But yes, join us next week for
Teamwork.
Teamwork. You
Mighty
can
Morphin
catch-
episode 3.
That's right. You can catch us here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Stay up to date with everything trending.
In gay pop culture.